Dan.
Not so much a question, but I've never looked at the Board of Health as something with power. I've always looked at it that it has certain authority. The other thing is I'm moved by the fact that, and I hadn't honestly known that in the past, that there are, what you said, 8, I can't see it.
There are more than 8, but these 8
Abandoned homes.
Yeah. 1 in Falmouth. You have great power.
But I want to clarify here, there is no hearing process for nuisance abatements under Chapter 111. If you want to abate a nuisance, you abate a nuisance by an order. You do have to give an order, and you do have to give notice of that order. As I understand the proceeding here tonight, which is kind of a continuation of what's gone on before, this is an effort to gather more information to assess whether or not the Board of Health wants to take interim action or wait to see what the study that's being undertaken now may yield. We can talk about that later as to what might be on that. But this is just kind of an unfolding process. If at any point in time the board felt that abatement of a nuisance is appropriate, and I don't think it's appropriate yet, then the board could make that order. A hearing has nothing to do with it.
Mr. Ruiz was quoted in the Kingston Reporter on January 4th, 2013. It is not constructive for neighbors to exaggerate or distort their complaints. For instance, to say wind turbine noise is like that of a jet or a jackhammer is patently untrue. A jet noise is well over 120 decibels flying overhead at 10,000 feet. Wind noise is less than 50 decibels at 400 feet. Clearly, Mr. Ruiz is not only discrediting the complaints of Kingston residents affected by noise from the wind turbine independence, he is also discrediting the complaints of thousands of people across the world who are experiencing the same negative effects of nuisance noise. Simply, I do not care what you call the noise that is clearly agreed upon by both Ruiz and the residents here today. It is simply a nuisance noise and needs to be rectified. Mr. Ruiz also stated in the same article that visitors to the site of the Independence can hear it, and he believes that residents who live within the site of it can hear it in their homes 900 feet away. These are his words. But complaints from a small number of people only give rise to the question of why it bothers them. Mr. Ruiz, it bothers me.
It kills me to see these young families, because that was me 20 years ago. I bought my house, and I was pregnant. And then 11 months later, I had another one who's sitting in there, who has to live. She's in her senior year of high school. Shouldn't this be the best time of her life? It's not. She is suffering from lack of sleep. She can't come home after school because she has flicker in her home. So she has to go to the library or stay after school and take her 12-year-old brother with her. This is unacceptable. We cannot live like this any longer. We have been living like this since May of 2012. I also have a letter from my doctor and Sean's doctor. I'm not opening my medical records to Mr. Ruiz because I work in the medical field, and I know that I don't need to open my medical records to you, Mr. Ruiz. And I also received your correspondence that you sent to me, which I found very interesting, that you contacted me through the Postal Service, because I've been trying to contact Mr. Ruiz since our first conversation back in May.
Do you see any scenario by which any level of relief can be provided to any of these homeowners during this time? That's my question to you, sir.
That's not a question that I feel that I personally am able to answer.
Answer.
Whether or not Mr. Ruiz is capable of answering that, I would have to defer to him. But I don't know if that's necessarily a question that he's prepared to answer at this time. I think that's something that we would take under consideration. We'd be happy to provide you with a written submission on that.
How soon could I get something like that?
We can get it within a week.
No, I'm sorry, I thought you were.
We can get that to you within a